How do you know when it is time to hire your next employee? We're going to dive in deep today on understanding your business and how to make what might be one of the most important decisions this year as you look at scaling. First, we're going to cover the two different reasons you might want to be hiring right now and how to know which one is right from a timing standpoint. Next, we'll look at how to judge when you should make that hire so that you feel really confident that you're doing the right thing at the right time in your business. Next, we're going to share a tale of two different business owners, one who hired at just the right time and one who didn't, and the big difference in outcome and how you can avoid that mistake for yourself. All right, so first, two different types of hires that you might need to make in your business. The first is you already have a bunch of people in your business and you need more people, more productivity, more revenue generation. The other one is when you need to buy back time, either from yourself or your other team members. Let's look at each of these deeply and decide the timing of when to hire for both. First, let's look at hiring to buy back your time. When is the right time to do that? Well, honestly, it was yesterday. Seriously, if you're a business owner, you're listening to this right now, and as long as you feel like, yes, I am bringing in revenue consistently in my business, and I know what to do to make more of that happen, then you need to have hired someone to buy back your time literally yesterday. You should go check out a great book by Dan Martell called Buy Back Your Time, where he expounds on these principles. But I'll tell you what we do with our clients when they're looking at buying back their own time. We've talked about this in other videos about looking at how much is my time worth. There's an easy formula for it. It is what is my profit divided by the amount of time that I'm working each month, and I get a dollar per hour value of my time. We're going to do an exercise here in just a minute that takes us at a deeper level here. But the theory is if I can just get a dollar per hour value of my time, and as long as I'm hiring someone else at less than that value, I can be good. I really want to be able to trade low dollar per hour tasks in for high dollar per hour tasks. I'll just tell you that one of my favorite numbers to track in my own business is this exact number. What is the value of my time each hour? That's how I know if the business is actually growing or not just by vanity revenue metrics, but the amount of time that I'm spending in the business. Is it getting more valuable? So ask yourself that. And if you don't feel like it is, maybe you need to hire to buy back your time. All right, I want you to get out a piece of paper right now. Draw a line right down the middle. On the left side, we're going to put low value, and on the right side, we're going to put high value. And I want you to start listing out all the things that you do throughout a week to run your business. And I want you to start looking at first, what are those low value tasks? And by low value, I mean they're things that you know anyone could do. It's stuff like maybe checking your email, scheduling with clients or patients, cleaning the actual space that you're in. I want you to start listing out what are the things that I know are low value in the business that I'm doing a lot of. Next, what high value tasks am I doing? Maybe it's getting on sales calls, drafting up the next marketing campaign, improving the delivery of your product or service, and innovating within what you're doing. List those things out. Now here comes the challenge. I want you to pick 3 things on this low value side that you could hire off within the next month or 2. Because if we can hire off these low value things that give us time for these high value things, just imagine, maybe this is a $5 an hour task, and maybe these are $80 an hour tasks. What if I traded in 5 hours a week that I was spending on $5 an hour tasks, and now I'm able to do $80 an hour tasks? How might that compound over time? And the secret to business growth is by simply trading your time for low dollar tasks into higher and higher dollar tasks, and then continuing to help your team do that as well. For example, we started doing this in our business years ago when I realized that I was going in after client calls to download their recordings from Zoom and upload them into Google Drive. I started thinking about it and I thought, this is not a very technically complex thing, and it's something that I'm spending like a half hour on every day. Now you might say, well, it's only a half hour, come on. Yeah, but every half hour per day is like 2.5 hours a week. Per month, that's like 10 hours a month. Per year, that's 520 hours a year. that stuff stacks up really quickly. So we decided, well, could I hire this off for $5 to $10 an hour? Turns out I totally could. And then we started following that train further and further. Gosh, what if I handed off client onboarding? What if I handed off emails, which is what we're going through right now? What if I handed off data collection, tracking KPIs, responding to clients when needs came up? And we started being able to trade low value for high value things. Now we're at the point where I find my team being so much more effective than I ever was because they're focused on one zone of tasks. Whereas I was so scattered in all the different things that I was doing that I would jump from low value to high value tasks and back and forth because I was trying to take care of everything. And instead, I can get people who actually love doing these things, are good at them, and even more proficient at innovating in them than I was because of my scattered attention. That's how we increase the value of your time and the value of your business as we grow. I want to give you my 2 favorite places to find people who can do these tasks for you. Before I do that though, would you just subscribe to this channel if you feel like you're getting value out of these exercises? Because we've got a lot more coming your way. All right, so I teased you with it, and I'll just tell you my 2 favorite places to hire people virtually who are able to do low value tasks so that I can free up my time for these more expensive things and these more valuable things. There are 2 of them. It's onlinejobs.ph and Upwork. Another one is Fiverr. That can work just fine, but I find for longer term work, those 2 websites find us great people who will work remotely, and because of a favorable exchange rate, it is so much easier and cheaper to hire them here than it might be to hire someone who is based in the States. That way, I'm able to say, look, let's sit in this high value range for a lot longer in my business. All right, so we've talked about handing off lower value tasks. Now let's look at hiring for profitability and hiring to increase the capacity of your team. I'll just tell you right now that if you're looking at your team and saying, you know, they're at capacity, right? If this is 100 clients a month and they're kind of right there at 95 or 100, you feel like we're at capacity, there are actually 2 things you can do. 1, you can hire to bring in new people, or 2, you can actually look at making your current processes and systems more efficient. So maybe instead of looking at hiring a new person, you say, well, how could we improve our efficiency by 10% across the board and change our capacity without having to make an additional hire? That might be worth it. The other thing though, if not, if it's like, you know what, we've gotten as much as we can out of our processes and systems, then cool. Around this 80% mark is where I want to make sure that I'm hiring so that I can not hit that capacity. Because I'll tell you what, if you or your team are at full capacity for too long, you know that it's going to be very hard to onboard a new person into the team, get them up to speed without stressing out the current team or stressing out you if you're currently doing everything. The last caveat here with this is you want to make sure that your growth curve justifies hiring. If you feel like, you know, I'm at 80% capacity, but I'm not growing at all, well, maybe you should focus on marketing and sales and bringing in new flow of clients to the business rather than increasing capacity. But as long as that looks like, yeah, it's still going up and we're not slowing down, great, we better get hiring. One of the biggest mistakes that owners make, especially early on, is they wait to hire until they've hit total capacity everywhere. And they feel like they have no time to do it. So here's the thing. If you feel like right now you have no time at all in your life and you need to hire something, well, I'm sorry, but you probably should have hired a while ago. So if you're not at that point yet, go ahead and hire early so that you have the bandwidth to ramp somebody else up. And if your team has the bandwidth, even better. I want to tell you how we're working on tripling our business right now with one key hire. We looked at our sales department and we said, you know what? We think we could be making more sales given the volume of leads that we've got. We had so much demand, but we were seeing a peak in how many sales we got. And so we went to our sales team and we said, hey, do we need more leads? And they said, no, we're actually completely full right now. And we've got one amazing sales guy on our team right now. And we looked at his calendar and it was quite full. In fact, it was almost completely full, and he was jumping around between a bunch of different activities. And so rather than saying, all right, let's make more sales by cranking up the leads, instead we said, what if we increase the team's capacity by 1, getting more efficient, which we started making those changes first, and then 2, hiring. We probably should have hired this position 3 months ago as we're looking at it now. But when we ran the projections, we saw, you know what? We could literally triple this company with one simple hire. We have enough lead flow to justify it, all the delivery ability to fill up as we make more sales. But we just have this squeeze point where we don't have enough sales time on the calendar. So we're making one sales hire that will certainly double, if not potentially triple the business. And the timing of this is so important. I wish I would have asked this question earlier of our sales team. How full do you feel like you are right now? So I want you to go to your team right now, or if you are your team, go to yourself and ask, how full do I feel like I am? Or ask that of your team. Listen to their response. If they feel like they are completely stressed and completely maxed out, we probably should have started the hiring process sooner, so we better get it going right now. All right, so if you've determined that now is the time to hire, but you really want to make sure that from a profit standpoint it makes sense for you, I've created a free hiring workshop and a really cool hiring calculator that you need to grab. If you click the link below in the description, we'll send you over the calculator and a video showing you exactly how to use it to make sure that your next hire is profitable and that you're able to bridge the gap between where you're at now and where you know the business could be. I'm excited to see you on that workshop, and we'll see you also on the next video.